Hey everyone, welcome back to another episode of She is Unstoppable. I'm your host, Deanna Hins, and today we're diving into a topic that I know a lot of you will find helpful: marketing on a budget and how to grow your business without spending money on ads. Now, before I jump in, I want to share a little bit of my own story. When I first took the leap into entrepreneurship, I didn't have any extra money for a marketing budget. Every penny I had went into keeping the business afloat and, quite honestly, paying the bills. Advertising just wasn't an option. I had to learn how to grow organically. And that experience taught me some incredibly valuable lessons about leveraging resources I did have: my time, my voice, and my relationships. And today I'm going to walk you through the exact strategies that helped me build my business and grow my community, all without a dime going into paid ads. So if you're ready to grow your business without breaking the bank, grab a notebook and let's get started. One of the first things I learned is the power of content marketing. It's all about creating and sharing relevant, valuable content that speaks directly to your audience's needs. Think of it like this: content marketing is your long term game plan. It's not about the quick wins, but rather about building relationships, trust, and credibility over time. You might be wondering, well, Deanna, what kind of content should I create? And the answer is all about knowing your audience. What are their pain points? What are they struggling with right now that you can solve? Here's a really simple approach, right? You can start with blogs, which helps your SEO, or videos, or you can even do a podcast like the one I'm doing right now. If you don't love writing, then create video content or start recording audio clips. The key is to produce content that helps your audience solve a problem. And if you're short on time, like we all are, as we're juggling a million different things as once as entrepreneurs, repurpose. This is one of my favorite strategies. For example, you can turn a blog into a ton of social media posts or a podcast into a blog. For example, this podcast, as I record it, I'm recording it using video, and I use the audio for Spotify and Apple Podcasts and the video for YouTube. But then I take that video and I splice it into different pieces of content. I use AI to pull all the transcripts out, right? And to find the best quotes when I have a guest on. So then I can create social media post with that. Creating content consistently is what builds trust. And I know that it's really hard to be consistent when you're scrolling your phone trying to figure out what should I post. But when you repurpose, which is something we're going to talk about a little bit more, then you find it easier to be more consistent. You start to become the person that your audience turns to when they need help. And that is when the magic happens without spending a penny on ads. So, the second thing is about building relationships and networking. This is another game changer for me. When I didn't have money to advertise, I focused on networking and connecting with people. Networking both in person and online is a priceless strategy. And the great news is it's free most of the time. Think about your local community or online groups that you can join. For example, I love meeting women in Shia's collective events or collaborating with other business owners. I have met so many amazing people who some do the same thing that I do and others do something totally different. It doesn't matter if they're doing something different or anything. It's you start to build these relationships and collaborate. And if there's somebody that you really admire what they're doing, or you feel like, I think I can really work with this person, or I want to get to know them a little bit more, send them a message on Instagram or an email. And it doesn't matter whether you are sending that message on Instagram or you're going to a local event. Those relationships that you are creating can open so many doors. Here's the thing: people do business with people they like, know, and trust. I've gotten speaking engagements, podcast guests, and clients through those relationships. So don't be afraid to reach out, send the email, connect on LinkedIn, but build genuine connections. It'll pay off in ways that you've never expected. That's what's really cool. I know a lot of us are on social media, and social media is a great tool, and I'm going to talk about that next. But human connection is something that just doesn't go out of style. It doesn't fade, it doesn't change. We all have this desire to be accepted, to be part of something. And quite honestly, that's why social media and Facebook have done so well, because you feel like you're part of something. So networking, meeting people, connecting with them, whether they are online or in person, is so valuable. The third point is social media. All right, so let's talk about social media. We all know it's a powerful tool for marketing, but many entrepreneurs assume that they need to pay for ads on social to see results. That's not true. In fact, I built a solid following and client base by focusing on organic growth. Now, I will say this. It has definitely changed. Social media has changed, and I'm going to talk about Meta, meaning Facebook and Instagram. And before, when I was first on and I took the leap into entrepreneurship, I had a different business at the time. And that many years ago, it was all organic. There was no algorithm on Facebook. So everybody saw the content that you were posting. It was amazing. It was great. And it was really easy to build a really big following quickly. Well, if you weren't around during that time, or if you are just starting your own business page on Facebook or on Instagram, you're not going to be surprised when I tell you that it's not like that anymore. The algorithm has changed, and not many people see what you're posting. But that doesn't mean that you need to pay for ads in order to be seen. It just means that you need to get a little creative. Here's how. First, consistency is key. I know I've said it before. I'll say it again. I'll say it a million times. Posting on a regular basis is a must. It doesn't mean that every posting every day, right? But it means showing up with intention. And it's not scrolling through your phone thinking, which I'm guilty of too. I'm sure I know so many of you, because when I say that, I get laughs usually. But a lot of times we scroll through our phones to look for something that we can post on social media, and that's not being intentional. It means taking time out to plan. What is my goal? What is the end goal that I want my followers to do on social media? And I need to work backwards to create content that will lead them there. I need to be intentional with what I'm saying. I recommend having a clear content strategy, right? Balance educational content with personal stories and even behind the scenes moments. We all like to see what goes on behind the scenes, right? We're nosy by nature. So mix it up. And then don't forget to also sell or have that call to action. Now, the call to action doesn't always have to be sell, right? That was the first thing that came out of my mouth, but it doesn't mean that you're asking people to buy something from you right now. That call to action can be, hey, download my freebie, because you're working on building your email list, right? Which we'll talk about next. Or maybe it's comment below. It can be a number of things, but tell them to do something. Don't forget to also sell. Ask them to purchase whatever that is, whether it is to purchase your course or to schedule a time with you for that consultation, or to buy your candle that you're selling. Whatever it is, don't forget to ask for the sale. The second thing with your social media and your content strategy is engagement. Don't just post and disappear. Start conversations in the comments, reply to your DMs, create polls, right? Or put questions in your stories. Remember, social media is a two-way street. Engaging with your audience will boost your visibility and build stronger connections, all without a single ad dollar. It drives me crazy when I see businesses just posting something, people commenting, and it's crickets from the company. Don't do that. Social media, social, right? It's two-way, it's back and forth. In fact, take that extra step, right? And proactively engage. So reach out to other pages and comment or say, "Hey, that was great," or send a DM, as I mentioned earlier, to somebody that you really admire. But don't just post and disappear. Don't ghost them. And don't forget about the video, right? Reels, short videos are getting a lot of love from the algorithms right now. So if you're not doing reels yet, start experimenting, play around. I know a lot of times, people are afraid. What will somebody say? What if I mess up? Who cares? Here's the funny thing, right? Sometimes when you mess up, it makes you more human. It makes you more real. It makes you more likable. And isn't it right? They have to know you, like you, trust you. So you're getting to that point. It's okay if you mess up. You're going to continue improving the more that you do it. And what's funny, I just heard this the other day, and it was during a training with Amy Porterfield that I'm doing right now. And on there, she was talking about being afraid of what somebody might say. And sometimes it comes down to one person that you're stopping yourself because of what some one person might think. And there's so many other people that really need to hear what what you're going to say. They're waiting for it. And that really hit me because I remember being that person that stopped what I was doing because I had one person in my mind that I was afraid of what they would say or what they would think if I went live and started talking about what I do. So if that's you, I'm going to challenge you to overcome that fear right now, today. You can do it because you need to get that message out. You need to be out there and not be afraid. It's actually a lot of fun once you get over that first initial fear. So just embrace it and go with it. Now, let's go to number 4. The fourth one is email marketing, right? And if there is one marketing tool that I can't recommend enough, it's email marketing. You've probably heard it said before, and I'm going to say it again, but email and your website are the only things that you truly own. No algorithm changes can affect how your emails are delivered, which makes it one of the most reliable, cost-effective ways to connect with your audience. I know I hear sometimes from clients or people that will talk to me because they know how I feel about email. And they're like, "Deanna, I hear you, right? But I'm more comfortable putting all my eggs into social media because they get that immediate reaction." They don't say that, right? They don't say that they get that immediate positive reinforcement by the likes or the comments on social. But I do believe that's it. But what they say is that they're somebody who they delete their emails. They don't read all their emails. So they're going to put all this time and invest all this time into thinking about what to write and creating it and then sending these emails out only to end up in an inbox of somebody like themselves who's not going to read the email, who's going to hit delete and send it directly to the trash. Now they've just wasted all their time. And it was a total waste of time to send that email because most people don't open it. In fact, I had one person complain to me saying only 30% of my email list open my email. And I kind of laughed because that's a really good percentage. Now, that percentage varies depending on what industry you're in, on what's a great percentage, but 30% is solid. And yes, it's not 100%, but here's the thing. You might be sending those emails out and they may end up directly into the trash because somebody sees them in their inbox, doesn't open them, clicks the delete button, and your email's gone. I do that too with emails. But if there's a subject line, I'll open it. Even if I don't, I see that person or that company's name show up in my inbox multiple times consistently. And I may not need their product today, but when I need their product, I will go back and search my emails going, where did I find that? I just did that with somebody who I subscribe to. I've been deleting her emails. She sends good content. It's just not content right now that I'm interested in. But every once in a while, I get something that I really like. Well, she sent one with an email marketing platform. Right now, I'm shopping for different email marketing. I may or may not switch, but I'm looking for something a little bit different. And I didn't delete it, but I saved it and it got buried. Well, today I was like, oh, I want to pull up what that was. And I couldn't remember who sent it to me, but I remember the name and I searched the name of the email marketing platform. And then she came up and I'm like, that's who it was. That's who sent it. And then I started reading not just that email to see what she had to say about that platform, but then I read a couple others too, because I did the search. I researched it based on her name. So you see, these are touches. And the more times that you touch somebody, the more times that they see your name and they see, you're either commenting, you're direct messaging, you're engaging with them on social media, they're seeing your business name pop up in their inbox, you're going to be front of mind when they need the service that you provide. When they have a problem, they know you can solve, you are the one they're going to think of. Now, here's how I get started. Right? First, when it comes to your email, if you don't have any email, you're like, Deanna, I don't have an email list, or maybe I have an email list, but there's not many emails right now. So I need to grow it. This is what you do. Create a simple but valuable freebie, right? Right now I have a workbook on my website that you can download for free. And I think it's 17 pages and it's super cool. It's just talking about the best strategies. It's really talking about what I'm talking about today, but it does mention ads, which that's okay. And it's all a checklist, right? But you create something that's really valuable that you know that your audience is really going to enjoy, and you give it to them for free. Now, this doesn't have to be fancy, right? Just something that they're going to think is useful. Promote that freebie, right? Promote that, if they call it a white paper. Promote that on your website or on social media, right? Or in person, if you're at a networking event, talk about it. But the goal is to get that person to go to your website, to download that freebie, and in exchange for that freebie, you want their email list. Or not their email list. You want their email, just their email, right? You want them to be added to your list. And once you do that, a couple things happen. The first thing is, it's kind of twofold. First thing is, once they download that, it's going to trigger your automated welcome email. So it's going to say, hey, thanks for asking for this. Here it is. I'm so excited to give you this freebie. And then you start to nurture that relationship through 3 to 5, it could be more, automated emails, right? That takes them through the journey that you want to take them through. And then they're also part of your regular newsletter that you send out. So they're starting to see you, like you, know you, and trust you. And the end goal is to have them actually to do business with you. And the real goal is, like, once you get those subscribers, you want to keep them engaged. So you want to send like those newsletters, right? Those regular value-packed emails. Don't just show up in their inbox when you want to sell something. They're going to delete you, and you deserve to be deleted at that point, right? Don't just show up when you need something. Nurture that list. Give them tips, give them insights, give them inspiration. And if you segment your list, and I won't go too deep in here, right? Based on their interest or how they found you, what they subscribe to, you can send even more personalized contact. That's going to increase your engagement even more. And as they are engaging with your content, you're getting closer and closer to them actually purchasing or working with you, or purchasing again, being a repeat customer. Nurturing those relationships. I love email. If you have not started email, put that before the video content. That is number one, getting your email in check. So the next thing that you can do to avoid, just marketing on a budget and avoid paying for those paid ads, is collaborations and cross promotions, right? Now, this strategy has been a huge part of my growth, and it doesn't cost you anything. When you team up with others in your industry or in your niche, then you can tap into their audience and vice versa. It's a win win. For example, guest podcasting is a great way to collaborate. You can reach out to other podcast hosts and offer to share your expertise. In return, you can have them on your show, which benefits both. Now, I'll always look for podcast guests who have the same audience as I have, right? And that's women entrepreneurs. Now, that doesn't mean that I will withhold somebody who's a complete genius because we may have a different audience, but that guest who shares my audience is my creme de la creme. They're knowledgeable. We're speaking to the same people. I know what they're going to say is going to connect with you. It's going to connect with my audience. And hopefully, as we share it, the podcast and the clips, they're sharing it as well because they're just excited to be on a podcast. And I'm getting in front of their audience. Even better is when I'm on their podcast next and we continue to collaborate. Now, you can also do joint webinars or Instagram lives with other entrepreneurs. This not only increases your visibility, but it also it builds credibility with your audience, right? So you're increasing visibility, you're building credibility. And the best part is it's so much fun. So collaborations are a great way to expand your reach without ever opening your wallet. All right. The last one is leveraging your customer testimonials. Guys, you guys have so many testimonials. I see it when you talk to me, you show me your Google My Business, and I am blown away by how good so many of you are with getting those reviews on Google. Use them. It's such a powerful marketing tool. And let's face it, word of mouth is still one of the most effective forms of marketing. And the best part is you don't have to pay for it, right? But when you encourage your happy customers, right, to leave a testimonial, then you can take that testimonial and you can feature it on your website, on social media. You can put it into your emails. And putting it in, and I'll talk about that. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but when a potential client sees that others have had great results working with you or buying your product, it builds into instant trust. So I want to talk about social proof, which this all kind of ties into. And social proof is that psychologically, when we know that something that we're thinking about, something we're considering, I'm going to say that I'm looking at working with a business coach and I go to her website and I'm reading everything. And then I kind of do a search, right? Because I don't always buy everything on the website, if I'm going to be really honest, because I handpick the best things to put on there, which go for it, right? I'm going to tell you to do the same thing because it's social proof. But then I'll start to look outside of that, right? Like a Google review or Facebook review or LinkedIn review. And you start to see things that can't be weeded out. And if I know I want to work with this person, I'm considering it, and then I see reviews that are great, and people are saying that I've worked with this coach and she completely turned my business around. So many aha moments. I've got the blueprint I want. That's speaking right to me, right? I'm like, yes, I'm going to believe that the same thing will happen for me if I work with her. The reverse can happen. If it's not great reviews, I'm going to bail real quick because I don't want to go there. Reviews are so valuable. I mean, aside from the content, it's because we look for social proof. Why do you think big brands hire celebrities so often for their commercials or their ads? Because if Taylor Swift likes something, all you Swifties out there are going to love it. You're going to support it because you support her. Social proof, right? So this is a great way to like highlight your success. But Also show potential customers what's possible when they work with you. So there you have it. I've given you 6 strategies to grow your business on a budget without spending a single cent on ads. Now, don't get me wrong, if you've listened through this whole thing, there's nothing wrong with running ads. Ads can be super effective if you run them. But let's face it, when you're first starting off, you may not have that budget. If you're like me, you may not have that extra budget. When I first started to put anything into an ad, I needed to figure out how to do it organically without spending extra money. And I just gave you 6 tips on how to do that. So, from content marketing to social media to email to collaborations and testimonials, there are so many ways that you can build your brand and business organically. Now, here's your challenge. Pick 1 or 2 of the strategies that I mentioned today and start implementing them. Just do it. Of course, I'm going to tell you, I would prioritize if email only if you do not have an email list that you are working. If you don't have 250 to 500 subscribers, I might make email a priority. But you pick 2. You pick the 2 that you really want to work on and challenge yourself to execute it. But small, small, consistent action leads to big results. And I know that you can do this. Thanks so much for listening, everybody. If you loved what you heard today, don't forget to subscribe. Whether you're watching this on YouTube or if you're listening to it on a podcast, like hit the subscribe button and leave a review. Feel free to message me. I love hearing from all of you and tell me what the best thing was about this podcast that you liked, or if there's something you'd like to hear about in the future. All right, guys, until next time, and keep being unstoppable.